Hello and welcome to Blog Tornado. How are you? And today we're going to talk about Bob Lazar. And again, I don't know where to begin with this story of his because, this man is on a completely different level of reality. A lot of people don't understand this, and that's the fact of making this video because it's a must. Um, the thing is, to step inside the UFO technology like Bob Lazar did, this is not a Lamborghini or Accelero, this is totally different ball game, okay? He probably seen something that no one's seen pretty much, except the people that were at S4, but the type of technology that he stepped into is basically from the future, okay? And that's the missing part, I feel personally, that a lot of people are not understanding here, okay? And Bob Lazar just not getting enough credit for this. Let's assume the story is true, authentic, okay? I'm not gonna get into that, but it's really hard for a lot of people to digest this whole situation, to understand this whole ball game. I can understand that, no problem. But and that's the whole idea, because for what it is, that's the problem. Even if you've seen if it's authentic, somehow we kind of ignore that fact, because what this technology is all about is what's confusing us. And him seeing this UFO is like, simply like seeing, I don't know, anything else. It's the same thing, except what it was is what's confusing us. And that's where a lot of people get confused, and they're kind of skeptical about his story, and that's just the problem. But we have to understand simple fact that out there in the universe, how can we not understand the fact that there is extraterrestrial life out there? I seen the orbs with my own eyes. There were lights in the sky that I cannot explain for the life of me. It's just so unusual, just so out of ordinary. But I know that these are not stars. I know these are not traffic lights. They're above the forest, and they are multiplying, flying in a straight formation, hovering in the air, still silent. This is what I don't understand either. But you see, orbs are common, okay? So a lot of people have seen them, so it's not something like it's hard to believe, okay? A lot of people seen this around the world, and now they're becoming more common because people have, smartphones to take a shot of them. But so they're popping up more and more on YouTube. But the thing is, connect these dots with this picture out of ordinary thing that you see in the sky with Bob Lazar's story. And if you connect those two dots together, you might have some inclination that perhaps his story is authentic, okay? And especially for those who have seen UFO or even extraterrestrial themselves, then it's easy for you to understand. But people who haven't, it's hard to... I've seen orbs, okay? Definitely something unusual in the sky, something you can't explain, just something right out of a sci-fi movie, okay? But it's on completely different level if you actually seen extraterrestrials or actually spacecraft, a UFO, okay? Your life is going to change, trust me. You're going to focus on your mind's going to be open up to possibilities. You're not going to look at sci-fi movies the way you used to once you understand this UFO, once you've seen a UFO. But this is what I think about Bob Lazar, and I feel like a lot of people are not understanding, is the fact that Bob Lazar, again, he's on a totally different level of reality here. Again, like I said, it's one thing to see a Ferrari, and it's another thing. It's a completely different ball game to see something that distorts time and space and gravity. Okay, this is the type of technology that will come one day, thousands of years from now. So that's why I'm saying he's seen the future, basically. And this kind of people are very unique, okay? Calvin Parker, Travis Walton, Barney and Betty Hill, and a lot of other people that have seen this technology. They are very unique, okay? Because you don't see something like that every day in your life, okay? This actually, I mean, people, it's like going to Bob Lazar. Hey, Bob, have you seen Prometheus, or have you seen Aliens, the movie? And he's just gonna look at you and say, "What the," you know? He's seen the real thing. And it's like Bob Lazar asking you back, "Did you see an alien?" Or "Did you see a UFO before?" You know, and that's the thing about we give so little credit. I mean, I really appreciate the fact those people who are actually watching this, that you're watching this right now. The fact I understand you, I feel you where you're coming from, because you probably feel the same way. That's why you're searching on this information, because this is a hot information. This might be not as popular within society in the public eye as much, as more underground thing, because a lot of people just can't accept this whole idea about Bob Lazar. But you know who does accept this kind of idea? This is above the highest level of our society. These are the people, military and government. Those are the people who can actually appreciate his story, which they do, okay? And they go further with that. So the general public just doesn't get it half the time. So that's the problem with this whole situation. But you have to have some kind of compassion on or understanding of this man. What's he thinking to himself when he is in bed, going to sleep? Like, what is his mind thinking about? What he's seen? Okay, it's a totally different thing when he's talking about this on interviews or something like that. But it's another totally different ball game when he's by himself thinking about what he's seen. The same with Calvin Parker or Travis Walton. Like, what do these people think to themselves at night when they go to sleep? I mean, it's got nothing to do with the other people. This brain of theirs is locked in their own world of this situation, okay? And there's no way out of this, okay? Because this is definitely some sort of unexplainable thing that you just can't explain to yourself. It's a trauma that you're gonna go psychologically. And that's what we have to keep in mind, what these people are going through when they're by themselves, thinking about what happened to them, okay? Not when they're giving interviews, okay? Because they're just going to be trying to act normal as much as they can, but it's a probably totally different ball game of psychology when they're by themselves, okay? But that's the thing that, we have to think about what these people, I mean, a lot of people just don't see that angle, and they just dismiss his story of whatever. And the fact that this is sort of like an underground subject, in some ways, it's not too acceptable for me in public. It's what's bothering me so much. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Bob Lazar is a rock star in UFO world. I mean, it's in any other abductees as well. Why? Well, I mean, I'm sure you would be excited to step into Maybach Accelero or Lamborghini or Ferrari, whatever. But the fact that this guy has been in a machine that's able to distort space, time, and gravity, and has its own gravity. I mean, no cars, today they're gonna come with their own gravity. So this thing has its own gravity, okay? And I mean, you have to understand what this man have seen. That's the thing that we're missing here. And like I said, I've seen the orbs. So I do think that there is something out there by the physical proof, not just by saying, okay? That's the thing, okay? I can say that for a fact. I can connect those dots because I've seen those lights in the sky. Again, for you that haven't seen this, I mean, it's something that's common, okay? It's been around with us. Even in Prometheus movie, I talked about it before, when they go into a briefing room, right? They talk about this different pictures, stone paintings around the world. They all match this strange spheres in the sky, and supposedly our creators. And that story is very close to the fact, I would imagine, because again, I cannot explain myself what I've seen in the sky. That's just the thing. It makes me, as a matter of fact, this channel is built on that fact, okay? Because I was able to see the future. Whatever those things are, they don't behave unintelligently. They are intelligent because they fly in some sort of symmetrical pattern without making any noise. I mean, and hover still in the air. I mean, and multiplying. I mean, we cannot achieve that with drones today to multiply by themselves. But this thing just, from one orb came three orbs, two more orbs, and there were three suddenly. And straight pattern, you know. And that's just the thing that I talk about. If you watch my UFO priest videos, okay, I'm telling why UFO priest? Basically because I'm trying to project some of this energy. I believe this orbs in the sky has projected something into my eye. Okay? You wonder how? Through photons. They were emitting light, orange light. And the photons that been emitted from the orbs hit your pupil, as you know. I believe that inside those photons there was extra information inside it that got embedded into my mind, and I'm basically just a messenger and trying to radiate positive energy from this orb phenomena. I'm seeing a pattern here, people. I'm not kidding. People have seen the orbs or seen something strange like that. They're going to try to influence other people in a positive way. I believe those orbs are actually appearing for that particular reason. They're emitting some light, and they're flickering too. They're blinking, okay? And that's the whole mystery behind these orbs, okay? They're blinking. And I think they're programming something into people's minds, okay? I know, I could be wrong, I'm not saying, but the only interaction, think about logically, the only interaction you have when you're staring at those lights is the actual light. That light is actually coming from those orbs into your pupil, okay? It goes into your brain. They might have some sort of technology to influence people, you know, rather than coming up to you, say, do this, do that, you know. They not do it that way. They might do it in different way. Like I said, projecting something inside the photons, hidden information that's embedded into your mind, and then you try to put this energy out there and influence the world because perhaps the world is not going in the right direction, or they're just trying to steer it in the proper direction. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, sure, okay, but the fact is that these extraterrestrials are thousands and thousands and thousands of years ahead of our evolution. Why? Because we were not the first one created, okay? Just because we don't see anything around us, that's why we think we're the only one, okay? But as you can hear more and more of these alien abduction stories, especially from the past, it has to give you some clue that all the stars in the galaxy, there's possibility that somebody's actually watching us from the other side of the universe on one of those tiny dots in the sky, just like we're looking at them, okay? Everything in this universe kind of repeats itself, okay? Nothing is original. There's one star, there's thousands of stars. There's one tree, there's billions of trees. You know, one person, there's billions of people. Okay, everything has a replication. This universe is about replication. That's a God's language. So you have to understand what's happening here on Earth is most likely happening down in the universe, you know? So that means that perhaps we're not alone, okay? And a lot of people still don't get that fact that, you know, they still think we are alone in the universe. I don't even know why this question is coming up. I honestly think that people are just, it's an interesting question that opens the mind curiosity. That's why people are asking it. But on the back of their heads, they know there's more life out there in the universe. Simple. And that's what I'm saying, because this extraterrestrial life has been with us for thousands and thousands of years ahead of our evolution. That's why we have to give some credit to these people who actually have seen this kind of technology from the future, okay? And again, as I said before, the future that we're going through right now, or it's coming, you know, it's coming towards us, this future has happened thousands and thousands, if not millions of years ago on other planets, okay? Simple, because they had a head start in evolution, that's all. And what these people are seeing when they see a flying saucer, it's a totally different ballgame here, people. They're seeing something from it's not just the future, man. This is like, There should be another word for the future that is more than just the future, because this is a type of technology that we might not achieve in long time from now. And the fact is, Bob Lazar talks about this. He clearly says, I mean, he has a scientific background, right? You do understand that. If you watch some of his videos, documentary, you understand that he has an idea about science. He's a scientist. He really knows his stuff, okay? Now, the thing about him is, when he explains what he saw at S4 inside that UFO, when he went to the bottom and he actually see the gravity amplifiers, how they operate, I mean, how they look like at least, or the whole concept of this UFO. I mean, he drew the picture of schematics of this UFO. And I'm sure you've seen it before. But the thing is, what he says is that this type of technology cannot be replicated by all means. It's way too advanced for us at the moment. He said this, not me, that's virtually useless to us. That's understandable, because it's thousands of years ahead of our other extraterrestrial evolution out there. We would be the first, we'll be other way around, they will think of us as gods as well, right? That's understandable. So we have to understand that fact. I don't know why we don't understand that fact. If you come first, you should understand that you should know a lot about your territory or what you're doing, because you were there first, okay? And judging by these UFOs that Bob Lazar is explaining to us, we have to sort of understand that this technology, came from somewhere where they had a lot of time to make this type of technologies. And we're going towards UFO technology eventually. It's just a matter of time, but who knows how long that will take. Which is another question, is why, obviously, these aliens had a reason to give us these UFOs, okay? Bob Lazar talks about being them supposedly shut down with a plasma bolt or whatever. But that's not the case. They were given to us for a reason. If you watch my Bob Lazar and Evolutionary Boost video, that's where I explain what really happened. Simply, it's injection of some sort, like a steroids, that might cause some sort of abnormal growth in muscles, and that's exactly what's going on. It's gonna show some abnormal growth in technology, because this kind of technology was given to us on a platter for us to study. We might not know exactly how it works, but we will get close to it eventually. It's been already, who knows, maybe 35, 40 years since this UFO ended up at S4, and that's what we have to keep in mind. What is really going on with this UFO right now at military? What are they doing to it? What's happening to our evolution? This is real-time situation, people. This is not like movie, okay? This is a real time that's happening right now. As you sleep, these UFOs, according to Bob Lazar, are in military's possession on Earth right now with you. And this is the scary part. What is this? It could be some sort of abnormal injection of evolutionary boost that might have some kind of consequences. And I do talk about like something like that could have happened during the Egypt as far as pyramids goes, okay? As you can see, there's a huge bump of something in our evolution that just is so abnormal. And a lot of things are evident throughout the planet. Stonehenge or Nazca lines. I mean, who the hell can draw Nazca lines? Who can create such geoglyphs, humongous drawings? I mean, it's quite obvious that it had to be done from space. I mean, this is what, it's mind-boggling here. But like I told you, what I've seen in the sky was orbs. I've seen it. You can read more about it at blogtornado.com in UFO section, UFO and orb article that I wrote, and you can compare the story if you've seen orbs. But anyways, it's just a little testimonial of what I've seen. But what I've seen, again, kind of ties in with all this. Could tie in with pyramids. It could tie in with Illuminati symbol on $1 bill. As you know, Illuminati symbol, it shows light that illuminates. The upper part of the pyramid hovers in the air like orbs do. The all-seeing eye, pluribus unum, above all none. You can see clearly that the all-seeing eye, something is watching us. It could all tie in with all this phenomena of orbs. And also with pyramids, the same thing. Like who and what the heck influences people to build such structures? I mean, you must have seen something to make your... It just shows what mind is capable of doing. But if something doesn't trigger it from the outside, we will never know the capability of ourselves, what we're capable of. But this is definitely something that was something influenced us. We could have built it ourselves, right? People think it was extraterrestrial work. Not necessarily. We did build it, but what make us to build it? It's another question here, okay? You've probably seen Stargate, the movie, okay? A lot of things like that somewhat, could tie in. But anyways, with Bob Lazar, and please stay with me a little bit longer. With Bob Lazar, we have to understand, we have to respect the fact, be more aware of what has happened to this man when he was inside a UFO. I'm telling you 100%, this man, he looks like a normal man, but when he goes to bed, trust me, his thoughts are full of questions, okay? The same with any other alien abductee, okay? They look normal, they talk about what happened as if nothing happened. They don't even show emotions, like Bob Lazar doesn't show any. But what these people think to themselves in spare time when no one's around is what we have to consider here. It's a fact. You think Bob Lazar is not thinking about what happened? You must be kidding. The trauma that this cause to a brain, if you're not strong, might drive you insane, okay? So luckily Bob Lazar is a very level-headed man, and as you know, these people are very level-headed, especially Travis Walton. I still don't understand how this guy end up cutting woods, but this guy is like something... He reminds me of a type of guy like from Good Will Hunting, the man from Matt Damon. Very intelligent person, but doing a hard-working job. And it's a little bit mind-boggling to me that kind of person... I mean, if you watch Larry King's show, interview with Travis Walton, you understand how this man is able to defend him intelligently in such way that you gotta wonder why he was actually doing a job that he was doing. I mean, he could have been doing something else that could put the brain to use to something more effective. But so that's just exactly the same thing with Bob Lazar. I mean, these people are smart, and which I do bring another question as far as, this gets dissected through Block Tornado and try to analyze the stories a little bit. Could Bob Lazar cook it up, because he's got the brains to do so? And that's what I noticed with Travis Walton. He's very smart, is capable of making this kind of stories up, and the rest is sort of a gray area. Is this some kind of psychological, pathological thing? How are they able to get away with this? But we gotta have to start looking for the facts, what is true in their story, not what's fake. And again, it's not hard for me to understand that because I've seen the orbs. So I have to tie in this phenomena with something. And that's why this kind of alien abduction stories are attractive to me, because I'm able to connect the dots with this. If I didn't see the orbs, this would be a much different story. Probably this channel wouldn't exist. But it does, because for that very reason, okay? First of all, I wanted to create a blog, just a regular blog to talk about technology or things that you can do around the house or whatnot. If you check out blocktornado.com, you'll notice there's different things. That's how I started off. Just try to review some technology there. And, but eventually kind of I said, I'm going to open this section because, you know what, I did see this UFO phenomena. Should I talk about it? Because, I can't keep it inside all the time. I mean, it's something maybe other people should know about. And then I did. And then suddenly, I read more about the stories, and I didn't even know who Bob Lazar was or anything like that. And then suddenly I get into all this, and I'm starting to see this whole world of UFOs. And I'm able to get into this world, you see, unlike somebody who hasn't seen the UFOs. won't probably able to get, won't probably even go into Bob Lazar world or UFO stories to begin with. And that's just the thing. People who haven't seen this kind of phenomena, it's hard for them to get into. So I can understand that fact. But what I've seen is really happened to me, so I can see where these people are coming from what angle. Okay, so I can kind of relate. Yes, that story is authentic. My mind is open to it, at least. Okay, although being as a Capricorn, it's hard for me to sometimes. It's hard for me sometimes to believe something. That's why I really need to. I rely on facts a lot, because I just can't see behind the wall sometimes, even if it's right in front of my face. I need to kind of grab on facts. Okay. And that's why this channel could be somewhat interest to you, because of that fact, because I try to look for facts, and I just can't say something without a fact. And that's beneficial in somebody who's looking for the truth. Okay, so that's the idea behind Blog Tornado. Okay, as you can see, it's called Tornado. Okay, but anyways, again, the credit that we're giving to these people, to me, they're very unique what they've seen. So that's why I'm making this video. That's where I'm coming from. The fact that what they've seen brings them on totally different level. And again, we should understand on what sort of level is US right now with this type of technology in their hands. Not just now, but they had this for a long time, many years ago, 40, 50 years. We don't know how long before that UFO at S4 were there before. And that's the whole scary part. Right now also, as you heard about, I talked about this before, about hypersonic weapons. And where are these ideas coming from? Hypersonic weapons are something that are 22 times faster than the speed of sound. Right now, I think it was Russia who had them first, I believe. I think then US had them, and also China has them. The rest of the world is pretty much vulnerable, okay, like to this kind of technology, hypersonic weapons. They're just way too fast to stop. And that's the scary part. And where is this future of ours going as far as these nuclear weapons are going, of mass destruction? Like, there's a lot of talk about, sometimes some planets that, some civilization that blow themselves up. Type 1, type 2 civilizations. Some civilizations don't make it to type 2 or to type 1 because they blow themselves up in the process. I mean, Stephen Hawking's talk about that, okay? Different types of civilizations. And they're just the dark side of our humanity, which there's pretty much nothing we can do. But there was a lot of alien abduction stories that talk about these aliens telling others that, careful of your future, that we might have some kind of devastation ahead of us that we need to avoid, okay? And who knows why this UFO technology was given to us, for what reason. Maybe there is something down the road that we need to avoid. And in many times, I will leave the link below. Look at it, what this lady is saying about the future, about what aliens told her. And we have to take that consideration into a fact, because the way things are going with these hypersonic weapons, maybe those aliens are telling us something, like it's really happening. We're possessing weapons of mass destruction so here on Earth. If that ignites somehow, it could actually kill our whole planet. And, we don't want to be sleeping next to nuclear weapons. This is the problem here. I mean, we have to stand up, about this situation somewhat. Who are these people surrounding themselves with mass destruction weapons, and why are they doing it? I mean, the reason is obvious, of course, but we have to find a way around it somehow. I think, because if we don't trust each other, then what's the point? We're gonna have a problem on our hands. And that's what's so mind-boggling about our society, that perhaps aliens don't even have that kind of problem. They might not even have a weapon capability on these UFOs, because they don't need it. They're only interested in how to travel onto other planets, so they don't need weapons of mass destruction or anything like that. So they don't know what weapons are, perhaps, okay? But they're so civilized in other situations because perhaps nothing like that happening on their planet. They don't need to kill each other, okay? That's why they don't need the weapons. So it could be just a suggestion. Maybe, we don't know. But anyways, that's all I want to talk about today. Thank you very much if you stay all the way here with me. I really, really, really appreciate that. And I make videos every day, every second day, every third day. And please come back to see more. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe here at the bottom right. That would be much appreciated. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you later. Cheers.